It has been some time since we've done a video like this. When I first started making videos here on YouTube, these top 10 seasonal lists were everything. It was the most exciting content to make on a quarterly basis. The landscape has definitely changed a lot over the years, and it seems like maybe they're not quite as popular, but I still get requests from you guys all the time asking for my top 10 picks for the upcoming season. So I figured, you know what? Let's just do a real simple piece of content. Now, this is not necessarily going to be a list of recommendations, i.e. fragrances that you need to go try and buy. To be honest, this is kind of a selfish list. I'm only going to share with you a small sampling of fragrances that I have been wearing en route to spring and will continue to wear when spring is officially here. Each of these 10 fragrances represents a different attribute of the springtime to me, whether that's a greenness, some kind of refreshing quality, floral bloom, earthy or woody richness, maybe even a sweeter element that blends perfectly with the other springtime attributes. If these fragrances sound interesting to you, there will be links in the description of the video, as there always are, but once again, this is basically what I'm going to be wearing. If you want to know what I like, then welcome to the video. Let's dive right into it. This actually is in no particular order. Top 10 is strictly for the algorithm. First one up here is my scent of the day. This is fairly new to my collection. This is from a Spanish house known as Ramon Monegal. Let me know if you guys have tried this one. I know this is a popular one from the house. They call this Siesta. They did recently send this to me, and aside from the awesome bottle, which is this flask style bottle, to be honest, it actually makes it a little bit hard to spray. It's a little awkward. Once you find the right grip, you're fine, but until you find it, you're gonna be kind of fumbling around, and just make sure no one's watching. This is such an interesting fragrance, very unique. This is lemon and honey, very pervasively bitter, striking, bright lemon with this sweet, warm honey that almost comes off fruity to my nose. But behind that is this beautifully elegant, slightly powdery, papery, starchy, rooty quality of iris. And the iris in here is really what gives it its own unique personality. Behind that is some dry woods, but it's pretty pervasive and pretty specific. You gotta like the idea of a honey and lemon combo. Almost like adding honey and lemon to a tea, but very, very sharp. I'm telling you, when I first smelled this, it kind of blew me away in a way where I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. This is a lot. But once I got it out of my face and just around me, I'm like, you know, this is really beautiful. So I'm loving the full wearing I'm getting. Not necessarily a fresh fragrance, even though the green makes it look pretty spring-like, but it is a nice blend of elements. Again, the woods, the florals, some citrus, and it's just really, really nice for the transition season. So it's going to be great for spring. That is Siesta from Ramon Monegal. Up next, we have a classic citrus aromatic fragrance from 1985. Still being sold today. You can find it at the fragrance discounters. I got this one from FragranceBuy. I'm going to link them down below. Man, this is lovely stuff. This is from the house of Caron, and they call this Le 3E de Caron. I have no idea what that means.
No idea.
But the fragrance is wonderful. Now, I will warn you, it does smell a little bit mature. It definitely smells a little 80s, but it does have this timeless, classic, masculine flair to it. If you like the idea of a bright and sharp citrus fragrance backed by herbs and woods and moss, there's a very, very distinctive dry mossiness in the background here. If that sounds good to you, you're gonna like this. You have to like fragrances, again, that smell maybe a little bit more old-fashioned. Again, by no means dated, by no means obsolete, but it is gonna smell like a more mature gentleman. Very refined, very put together. What I like about it is that it wears like an eau de toilette. It is an eau de toilette, so it wears lighter, more transparent, very bright, refreshing, definitely great for the daytime if you plan on having a more sophisticated demeanor and presence in the room. Lovely stuff. You want people to take you seriously, but still have a pleasant quality? Check out Le 3E de Caron, whatever in the heck that means. One of the easiest to wear, most posh, soapy fragrances that I think you can buy and wear from Creed. This is Original Vetiver. I love this stuff. I've loved it for a long time. This is easily in my top 5, I would say, from the house. It's green, it's fresh, it's clean, it's smooth, a little bit creamy as it dries down from some sandalwood, but it's fresh and soapy and just simple. Simple scent profile, beautiful quality, wears amazingly in the air. It's not going to be an all-day wear. I would probably get a good 5-6 hours out of this. That's all I would need it for, because I'll put something else on later. That is Original Vetiver from Creed. You know, future Justin, I'm noticing we got all this dead space back here. Maybe put the bottles that we just talked about up here. Pretty cool. Next up is a powerhouse from the house of Amouage. If you like the idea of a mossy, minty green, woody fragrance with a lot of density and presence, this is Beach Hut Man. I've been wearing this one and enjoying it for years. I have recommended it several times. It's not going to be for everyone. It's very green. I'm talking like out in the shrubbery type of green. Doesn't smell like the beach at all. This is more like Tree Hut Man. Very green, earthy, minty fresh, very, very woody. There's a dryness to it, but it also has this interesting twist to it with myrrh resin. The myrrh adds a little bit of this sweet glue to the scent that kind of sticks all the greens and woods together in a very interesting way that makes it smell quite unique. It might have a little bit of an old-fashioned feel, but maybe check it out. That is Beach Hut Man from Amouage. I worked really hard to not move my chair when I got up and moved these fragrances over there. I'm just gonna move the chair. So no movie magic here. I'm just gonna get this over here in a very normal human way. Let's move on. From the house of Roja Parfums, this was a brand new DNA that they released a few years back. They sent it to me. I really enjoyed it over the years. They made a Parfum version, which was a little head scratching because it came out maybe 6 months after the original release, which is an Eau de Parfum. And I actually like the Parfum a little bit more, but I can't recommend it because it's almost twice the price, half the size, and kind of the same scent with some subtle refinements. But I will be wearing Apex Eau de Parfum. If you want something very masculine and authoritative, this is one I would recommend. And this is quite a mixture, quite a blend, a lot of elements going on here, but ultimately it is very masculine. This is green, it's leathery, it's boozy, it's warm, touch animalic as it dries down, spicy, even a little fruity. There's so much going on here. Pineapple, mandarin orange, maybe some tobacco, some like whiskey or rum or something like that. It's a lot of elements blending together to make a very masculine, kind of primal scent. One that does smell very classy. If you see yourself wanting to have more of a classy vibe that is maybe teetering the line of old fashioned but still completely contemporary, I would check out Apex Eau de Parfum. I will be wearing this myself for those classier daytime or nighttime outings this spring. I've been raving about this one from the house of Chris Collins for several months now. I love this stuff. It is so different, so wearable, so attractive. African Rooibos. I will be wearing the mess out of African Rooibos this spring. Man, this is this red smoky tea, slightly sweet, herbal smelling with kind of a fresh, almost fruity citrus quality, a little bit of a brightness to it, which I think lends to the springtime perfectly, but there is a woody backbone here. The only thing I could say it smells reminiscent to is Luminis from Frapon, but it happens to be perfumed by the same perfumer, Sidonie Lancesser, so it seems like maybe she took the top of Luminis and built underneath it to create African Rooibos. It's not quite that simple, but they do have some through line. You can tell they have the same creative thought behind them. Lovely stuff. Again, easy to wear, but very unique. African Rooibos from Chris Collins. I was having a hard time choosing between this and its fairly new flanker. They're both perfect for the springtime, but just doing a side-by-side smell comparison right before filming, I had to go with the original. It just has a lovely, delightful quality to it that is perfect for the light liveliness of spring. And that is Wulong Cha from Nishane. Man, this is so uplifting while being so calming all at the same time. A green herbaceous tea with a bright citrus quality, giving it lots of accent, lots of life, but ultimately it's smooth and musky. Musky, soft, fresh, fuzzy smelling with this smooth tea feel to it. This could be signature scent pretty much any time during the spring. If this is your jam, it's just a really, really nice definitive personality in a bottle that could suit you very well. So I will be wearing Nishane Wulong Cha and its ex counterpart. Let me know if you dig Wulong Cha. This next one up is brand new to my collection. The most wearing I've honestly gotten out of it has been just on the hand, and it's a beautiful fragrance, one with, again, lots of personality, which means it has specificity, which I always love in my niche fragrances, well, in all my fragrances, period, based on pistachio. If you like the idea of a light, fluffy, slightly sweet, creamy, marginally powdery, and also kind of dry, woody pistachio fragrance, Une Pistache from Obvious. And this was sent to me by my friends at Quintessence. You can check this out at ZGO Perfumery if you're interested. I'm going to link them down below. I don't have any kind of affiliates or anything with them. They just sent me the bottle and told me to tell you guys where to get it if you want. But I pretty much described it. It's a fairly simple scent. I almost get this rice and tea-like quality to it. It reminds me of another fragrance from Théo Cabanel called Je ne sais quoi. It's in that vibe, in that realm. If you know that fragrance, very natural smelling. Does smell kind of edible, but as it dries down, it just has this vibe. It's a very light and very easygoing vibe, but it's unmistakable. I think it's the sandalwood that really comes out on the skin as it dries. Lovely fragrance. Une Pistache from Obvious. We'll definitely be getting some wear out of this, and Grace will too. She actually loved it when I had her try it too, so we'll both be wearing it. Up next, we have a couple older favorites. First one up here is from the house of Kilian. This is Verte. This is a very unique, very specific absinthe fragrance. Absinthe and licorice. Lots of licorice. Real authentic kind of mentholic, sweet, woody licorice with that green, uplifting, but rich smelling booziness that absinthe brings with this backbone of woods. It's an odd scent, but when you smell it in the air, it is captivating. It is a little bit intoxicating, and it can come off pretty classy, especially when you don't overspray it. That is Verte from Kilian. Let me know if you dig this one. And our final fragrance is from the house of Argos. It's been a favorite of mine from the house for years now, since I've gotten to know the house. It is the greenest fragrance they make. It is the most perfect for springtime if you're asking me, and that is Brivido Della Caccia, which is Italian for thrill of the chase. Again, has a definitive face to it, has a very specific personality, which I dig, but it wears in this way that just catches attention in a way that is a little bit provocative, but very elegant. This is green mate tea, so there's this green herbal feel to it. It's quite smoky from birchwood, even some leather in there. There's a sharp freshness from juniper berry, which makes it smell kind of foresty. You smell like you're out in the forest in a way, which is reminiscent of the story of this fragrance. And there is this slightly sweet, creamy, almost vanilla quality as it dries on the skin that kind of wraps it together and makes it smell even more attractive in the air. So a great blend of elements, not a ton going on, but enough for some complexity, which lends itself to being a specific personality. So if you want to try Brivido Della Caccia, you can do so with the code FRESH10 at Argos' site. You can save 10% on anything, any purchase, including their discovery set. Let me know if you enjoy Brivido Della Caccia if you've tried it. All right, so there's top 10 niche fragrances for spring. If you want to see a designer list, do let me know down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let me know if you've tried these fragrances once again. And if you did feel inclined to try any of them, once again, they are linked in the description. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.